I've got James Campbell with me from Shefa Yamim in the studio today. James, nice to see you.
Good afternoon, Andrew. Lovely to be here.
Look, it's been a busy first half, it's fair to say, for Shefa Yamim. Significantly, we've got the appointment here of PPM. This is an important development here for the company. Talk us through some of the latest as to what's happening.
Andrew, yes, it is a very important development for Shefa Yamim. PPM is called Paradigm Project Management, and they are a South African-based technical consultancy which is well versed in the technical studies and the development of diamond and precious stone mines. And why this is particularly important for Shefa Yamim is it'll give the board some yardsticks in terms of operating and capital cost expenditure. And why we are doing it so early is a really important point, in that to get we call it front-end thinking, to start to really kind of give blue sky thinking about how best are we going to mine the Kishon Mid-Reach project? What kind of processing plant are we going to put in place? What kind of environmental procedures we're going to do? So it's basically a pre-conceptual study which will direct the board in terms of the overall cost component of the Kishon Mid-Reach project.
And we're looking to have this report completed around about August.
That's correct. It's already very far advanced. We've already had multiple workshops with the team and with our consultants, particularly Dr. John Ward, who's working on the resource side of things. And yes, it's on track to be complete by the end of August.
It wasn't too long ago I was speaking to Vired Toledo. You've been busy with bulk sampling and seen some decent... I know you haven't had the results out, but the signs are looking good?
No, absolutely, Andrew. No, obviously with a mining project, there are two things you look at. You look at the cost side, which is made up of the operating and capital cost, which is going to be done through the technical and economic evaluation study. And then you look at the revenue side. And that's made up of three components in this particular business. Obviously, size of the deposit, volume, and that's already very far advanced in terms of the level of confidence. The second is abundance, or carats in this particular case, of the jewel box, which was coined a little bit early on in the year. And then thirdly, the value. What is the value of the individual jewels, both separately and collectively?
And excitingly, where the jewel box is concerned, you've had the recent addition of Spinel.
That's correct, yes. It is a very favourable addition. It's in the Queen's Crown jewels. And that, along with the Campbell sapphire, the hibonite, the moissanite, the very rare diamond, the ruby, the garnet, make up a fascinating jewel box from this particular project, yes.
And that Campbell sapphire, that's been trademarked.
Indeed it has, because as you would know, when you value a particular mineral which is unique, you'll be setting the price on that mineral itself. So it's not just necessarily the uniqueness of the Campbell sapphire, it is the abundance of all the other minerals, including sapphire and Spinel, which has just recently been announced, but also that it comes from the Holy Land, which in itself will carry a major premium.
And so yourself, the team, you're pleased with the progress that's being made?
Yes, when we went to list on the London market at the end of last year, we said that we would be doing all the things we are currently doing. We said that we were going to be doing a technical study to look at the operating and capital cost components. We said we were going to be developing the resource in terms of size, grade and value. And that's exactly what we have been doing. And we've been updating the market regularly in terms of that.
So remind us what we can expect from Shefa in the second half of this year.
Well, obviously the first thing will be an announcement on the results of the technical and economic evaluation. The second would be more definitive estimates on the grade and the volume of the Kishon Mid-Reach project. The third thing will be beginning to get some ideas in terms of the value of the Campbell sapphire and the jewel box suite itself. And then importantly, one of the other tracks we're looking at is to find the primary source for this jewel box in Mount Carmel itself. It's obviously this particular strategy is secondary to the development of the Kishon Mid-Reach mine, but it's important because who knows whether that could be higher grade or not than the secondary deposit.
And a bit further down the track, looking at trial mining next year.
That's right, yes. And the first step on that is exactly what we're doing now with a technical economic evaluation, yes.
And once in commercial production, who are the end markets here? Who would you be looking to sell to?
It's a very, very good question. I think the Jewish diaspora in the States, in Europe, in South Africa, in the Far East would obviously love to buy goods from the Holy Land itself. Tourists who go to the Holy Land, including the evangelicals from America as well, would love to buy something which is of value, intrinsic value in itself, plus the Holy Land. And the whole marketing piece is something which is beginning to attract a lot of attention.
Well, you mentioned that. So a focus beginning to be put on the whole marketing element here for Shefa.
It is secondary to actually looking at the operating cost and the resource assessment side, but it's something that's particularly important. If you look at Campbell Sapphire, it is unique. Moissanite is unique. We will be the price setters in these particular jewels. And what is unique is the whole jewel box approach to it as well. And then you add on the layer around the Holy Land itself. Now, the board is beginning to consider various strategies and programs in terms of how can we leverage those three elements of our uniqueness.
And so busy on the ground, and as far as the work that's being done, you've got the cash in the bank, you're funded for that at the moment, are you?
Absolutely so, yes, very much so, Andrew, yes.
Brilliant to see you. Thanks, James.
And thank you very much for taking the interview, Andrew. Much appreciated.